What's up? What's up? What's up? The boys are back in the building. They have not fired us yet. We are back for week 5. Week 5 was a killer weekend for our best bets. We went 9-3 in week 5. We went 8-4 in week 4. We're 17-7 in our last 24 bets. So give us a round of applause, guys. Give us a round of applause.
Great job, boys. Great work.
Guys, thank you so much for joining. We are doing this weekly NFL show. We're called For the Win. Thank you to Bookmakers Review for this show. Please check out the YouTube, like, subscribe, click all the links in the description for more NFL content. Again, that's bookmakersreview.com. All right, let's get into last week's slate real quick.
Yes, sir.
Sammy, my guy, how did last week treat you?
Last week was all right. I think I went 2-1. I missed the Pats by the hook on 0.5. I thought they beat the Texans at least by a touchdown.
That was crazy. They were down for most of the game, too.
Maybe the Texans aren't as bad as we thought, but they are.
They're pretty bad. They're still pretty bad.
Yeah, I think it's more Pats being bad. Same.
That one broke my heart because, the card squeaked it out. That would have been a nice 2 weeks in a row sweep. I don't know. How you feeling, Alpha?
You're still killing it, Sammy. You're still killing it. All right, Alpha.
For sure. I also went 2-1 on the week. I thought I was going to get the sweep on the best bets. We had that under in the Monday night game where it was 16-3 at the half, but second half was a ton of points. Unfortunately, we still went 2-1, and I know Analytic Capper said it earlier, but we are 17-7 over our last 2 weeks on best bets, so we can't really complain. Dead Prez, how did you do?
Yeah, also was 2-1 there on the best bets. Actually had our best week for the NFL overall, so I was happy with that. The boys had a good week. We crushed the best bets, so we got to do it again this week.
Yes,
a couple more rounds of applause. We got Alpha and Dead Press with brand new cameras. They are looking beautiful in 4K, so props to them. But let's get into a couple games from last week. It started off on Thursday night. The Rams are traveling Seattle. Russell Wilson had that crazy finger injury. That ruined my bet. I was on Seattle, not very happy, even though Geno played pretty well. But Dead Press Picks, how did you feel about that game?
Yeah, that game was crazy. Really how well Geno played. That was just out of nowhere. I was on the Rams pretty big in that game, so kind of got a little bit lucky there with him going out. But tough circumstances for Seattle there. Really had no shot once Wilson went down. Alpha, do you have anything on this one? Or
I did. One of my best bets last week was the Rams, like yourself, so I was happy to get the winner there. I think Geno Smith impressed a lot more than I thought he would do. He came in the game, and that offense didn't really seem to lose too many steps with him behind the helm. So I'm excited to see what he does this week as the quarterback for the whole game. Sammy, how did you do this one?
Their season is over, y'all.
I don't know about that yet. Not yet.
In that division,
best division in football. It's done.
We're 5 weeks in, though.
I agree it's over. I didn't touch the game beforehand, I think I might have teased and got 9.5. So I think I won a bet, but I didn't post it. So
what was a good thing when you won a bet?
All right. Yeah, Alpha, let's talk about our teams. They went head to head. The Giants went through some crazy injuries there in the middle of a game. Basically, their entire team went down on offense. Alpha, how do you feel about the Giants moving forward?
It was a tough game to watch. It really was. It showed the lack of depth on the team. It's hard, though, because they really are missing all of their offensive skill position weapons. I mean, Galladay got hurt mid-game. They had no Sterling Shepard. Daniel Jones was out. Saquon Barkley was out. The left tackle, Andrew Thomas, was out. It just seemed that they really didn't have the weapons in that game, and it really showed in the second half when they couldn't get any points on the board and keep the game close.
Yeah, potentially that. Maybe Daniel Jones is playing this week, but if he doesn't, I don't have any confidence in Mike Glennon. On the other hand, the Cowboys offense is humming, right? Dak Prescott is playing at an MVP level. We have a two-headed monster at Zeke and Pollard at running back, two-headed monster at tight end, and we have a pretty good receiving corps. So it's been a really nice time here in Dallas. So it's been exciting, but this is the final game. Actually, we'll go to one more game before we get to that last game.
Well, is Jason Witten still playing tight end for the Cowboys?
No, bro. He is done. He's
That's
done.
surprising. I thought he was going to go for like 100 years.
Sunday night was a huge game. I was on the Chiefs big. I lost big. The Bills showed out. Josh Allen was amazing. But we saw what we all knew. The Chiefs defense is trash. And the fact that people can even, argue that it's comparable to previous years, it just means they don't really follow football. So obviously the Chiefs defense are hammered with injuries. The defense is worse. It's worse than it's ever been. But I'll start with Dead Press picks. I think you were on the Chiefs with me as well.
Yes.
What did you see in that game? And do you think the Chiefs even have a chance moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to say with how bad that defense is because kind of like you said, people are comparing it to the last few years. It's way worse than it was the last few seasons. I mean, some teams are putting up numbers like my Eagles even, hung a big spot on them, and our offense has been struggling. But we knew their defense was bad. I was more concerned in a way with how bad their offense looked most of the night. Mahomes had 2 turnovers. He just didn't look like himself at all. And that's the issue with Kansas City. If they have an off night offensively, they have no chance to win a football game. So they always have to be putting up, 30 plus to win any game. So I would be concerned at this point in the season with Kansas City for sure. Even though their offense is as good as it is, you can't win with that defense.
Before we get to alphabets, Dead Prez, you did send out a pretty good tweet during the game, basically showing that Mahomes have always been, turnover prone. He's thrown a ton of interceptions the last few years. They've just been dropped. So maybe it's a regression towards the mean that we're seeing this year. Alpha Dog Bets, I know you're on the Bills. You love the Bills all week. I give it to you. How do you feel about that game?
I thought the game was a pretty good game. It went kind of how I expected it to go. I really think the Bills are the best team in the AFC, hands down. I just think Josh Allen's taken that step this year. He was great all year last year, and he's taken another step this year to be even better. As you know, the Bills were my preseason Super Bowl team, so I'm going to keep riding the Bills and hope they keep winning. But Josh Allen and that team has them ready to go for a good run, so I'm excited to see where they go. But on the terms of the Chiefs, I wouldn't count them out quite yet. A team that has Andy Reid as head coach.
Was that Chiefs with a T?
No, Chiefs. And not quite. But any team that has Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo on their team, I wouldn't count out. I think Steve Spagnuolo is a very good defensive coordinator, and I think he's going to get that defense on the right track. So we'll see where they are in a couple weeks from now, but it's a little worrisome if I'm a Chiefs fan.
Sure. Sammy Adams, the GOAT. You're going to start off with this game. This was our side bet last week. Me and Dad lost to you and Alpha. So we've decided to buy each of you guys a new hat. I know Alpha's rocking his new Giants hat. Sammy Adams rocking his awesome bucket hat. But let's talk about that Green Bay Packers, Cincinnati Bengals game. Let's start with Alpha Dog Bets. How you feeling?
In the missed kicker bowl. What a game that was. Mason Crosby, what was it, 4 missed field goals in a row?
Oh, my gosh.
And he never does that. One of the most reliable kickers in the NFL. So that was interesting to see. And the last couple of years, maybe not the most reliable, but one of the better kickers in the NFL. I wouldn't expect him to miss 4, especially that short kick at the end of the game.
4 missed field goals is crazy.
Absolutely.
Well, Sammy Adams, go ahead.
It was a full just kicker gate. I mean, we have kicker gate, we have coach gate. We'll get to that. But for the kickers, 24 kicks, 12 extra points, 12 field goals missed. That is just unheard of. Like,
look at Sammy Adams with the stats, y'all.
Yeah,
look at that.
That's on you real quick.
Look at those numbers right there. Dead Press Picks, we are the losers of that side bet. Honestly, I thought the Bengals were going to take it money line straight up.
Well, yeah, they had a chance, right, at the end of the game. Their kicker jumping up and down. He had a little bit of a swaggy P moment there. But, I mean, yeah, that game was just weird. It was insane.
Even the first play of overtime, Joey B just throws it straight to the linebacker.
Nobody was there. Nobody was there.
It wasn't even a telegraphed pass. It was just a pass.
It was just directly at the linebacker. There was no receiver in the area.
It was insane. That was just wild.
But even with that,
Sammy Adams alluded to this. There is kind of like a coaching controversy right now with John Gruden. Alpha Dog Bets, can you give us some context, a quick background of what happened with Gruden and the Raiders?
So I'll try to do this as politically correct as I can. But John Gruden had a bunch of emails with, I believe it was DeMaurice Smith, was it? With the head of the Players Association and with the guy from the Washington football team. He said a lot of not great things about a lot of different people. He said a lot of homophobic things, as well as he said a lot of racist things. So he has lost his job, and deservingly so. There's not much more I could say about the topic. It's not one that's fun to talk about, and there's not one that's really anything need to say. He messed up, and he's paying the price for it. So that's all it is in that situation.
Sammy Adams with the oof gif. Go ahead, Sammy. Talk your talk.
I mean, it's terrible. It's like, look, I think cancel culture for the most part is stupid, but if you act on that and continue to be racist or homophobic or whatever, there's no place for that in sports.
Absolutely not.
So I don't see this as, I mean, it is shocking because you don't tag him as that guy, but the more people that come out about it and are like, listen, he's been like this since day one. Everyone that thinks that they poop ice cream, you got another thing coming. Like, this thing is going to catch up with you in the long run. Like I said, I don't always agree with cancel culture, but if you're acting on things and you continue your behavior, peace out.
All right. Let's go ahead and move towards this week's slate, guys. Wizard, let's get into this week and bring our guests, everybody.
Let's go. Lemmy.
What's up, boys?
What's up?
Let's go.
Hey, drinks with Slam.
Thank you guys
Let's
for having
go.
me.
Welcome to the show, man. Thanks for coming on.
Excited, boys. Thank you.
What's up, big dog?
Slammy, welcome to the show. Give me your favorite game to talk about this week.
Tonight's game, Bucks versus Eagles.
Let's go.
Wow, let's get into it.
Yeah,
Let's go,
get it.
boy.
Right. So right now the Bucks are about a 6.5 point favorite, depending on the book. They're on the road traveling to the Link, is what Dad likes to call it. But for me, I think it's an Eagles play. It's just hard to back them, but I am on the Eagles for small. Slam, what do you like?
Short week for both teams. Bucks coming off a blowout win. Eagles coming off a win against the Panthers. Eagles defense looked good. Saved them second half. They put the pressure on Sam Darnold, got turnovers. I think for this game, a short week with Brady. Brady hasn't looked very good. Prime time, what is he, like 0-10 or something like that?
0-10. It's past his bedtime.
For his last 10.
Past
his
his
last
time. He needs that rest, man. He's old. But again, I think if the Eagles can put pressure on him can get to him, sack him, get turnovers, I think they have a good chance to win this game. I am on the Eagles plus the 7. I think the Eagles will be able to put up points. Could be a blowout. Maybe look into Eagles team total over as well as a safe bet.
Sammy Adams, you look like you don't agree.
Bro, like the Brady keto, no white bread diet.
Brady is the GOAT,
doing
though.
him well. Like, bro, he had 5 tuggies last week, like almost 415 yards or 411 yards. Insane. I lost a fantasy game because I forgot to change the Antonio Brown, which is terrible. I think
You were that guy. You were that guy.
I'm always that guy, but at the same time, I am on the Eagles, especially getting points.
After all that,
Really?
Look, I don't like.
No, it's because it's at the link. It's at the link.
No, I hate seeing all these Buccaneers logos with Brady on it. It just absolutely caps my. You know what? It's not great, but I'm riding with the Eagles at the link.
So we got 3 Eagles. We'll leave Dead Press to talk about his team last. So Alpha Dog Bets, what are you on tonight?
Give me the over. I like the over 53 in this game, guys. I think we'll see a lot of points scored in this one. I think it's going to be a shootout back and forth. I don't feel comfortable taking either side in here. I heard what you said, by the way, but I don't feel comfortable taking either side in this game. I feel more comfortable on the total. Give me the over. All right, let's go to our resident Eagles fan.
Tom Brady's
Dead Press picks.
kryptonite is the link. It's the birds. The last time he played us,
It's the Giants.
he doesn't.
How can you say it's not the Giants?
That's one thing I'll agree with you on.
The link.
But he's afraid of the Eagles. There's something in him that doesn't work. Eagles win it outright, but my favorite play in this game, Jalen Hurts over 287.5 passing yards.
Bang.
That's gone up though. Honestly, I'd still play it up to like 295. Bucks last in the NFL in passing defense, first in rushing defense. So Eagles are gonna have to throw a lot in this game. Eagles don't run the ball really at all. They rank 27th in the league in rushing.
I like that.
So I think
McNabb.
They have a dynamic running back, but they never give him the ball. I like that Hurts over as well. That's actually a sneak peek on a free collab that and I are working on tonight.
Alpha, you want to go against them on that?
We doing it again?
I'll do it again.
Double or nothing? We're undefeated.
Saying it, I'll do it again.
Let it roll. Let it roll. Let's do it.
All right, if Dead is in, I am in. If Dead is in, he knows the link better than I do.
I'm getting two hats.
comes out
Two
of the
new
link
hats.
What's the line?
What's the prop line, Dead?
Minus 115. Both ways. It was at least on DraftKings. It was.
All right, moving on to a big NFC North battle. We have Aaron Rodgers traveling to Chicago to play Justin Fields, who was recently named quarterback 1, even though he's feeling a little injured. I'll start with Alpha Dog Bets. It's a 5 to 5.5 point favorite for the road team in this game. How do you feel about it?
I like the Green Bay Packers again this week, guys. I just don't trust that Bears offense, especially with Fields behind at quarterback. They played good last week, and I think that's why the line is as small as it is, but I don't think that's indicative of how good the Bears actually are this year. I'm taking the Packers. I think they're going to want to make a statement, and I think they're going to want to put the ball in the end zone after seeing how kicking went for them last week. So give me the Packers by the points. Slammy.
Wait.
What?
Go
ahead.
Is Red Rocket queuing or is Fields back?
Justin Fields.
Yeah,
Fields.
I mean that'll be like a quarter and a half before the Red Rocket comes steaming back in. But I also took the Packers. I think I took first half Packers because Fields just isn't as good of a QB as Rodgers.
No mention of Shailene Woodley this week, huh?
I'm just not a huge fan of her. I couldn't even tell you 3 movies she's in.
All right. Slam, how do you feel about that?
I'm
big
stuck with
NFC North
Olivia
game?
Munn or whatever her name was.
True.
Olivia Wilde?
Munn.
No, not that one.
Mund?
All right. Slam, go ahead.
For this game, I would lean the under. I don't know. Yeah, I don't have faith in Justin Fields right now. I think if Bears were to be in this game, they have to put up points. He didn't look that impressive last week. I think defensively, Bears could get it done, but Aaron Rodgers has been incredible. I mean, what I see is like if Bears can hold Devontae Adams
Yep.
and make Rodgers throw to someone else, then maybe the Bears could be in the game. But right now, I just don't have faith in the Bears offense. I would lean Packers or the under.
The
All
X
right.
factor in this one, Slammy, I think is going to be the tight end and Robert Tanyan. I
You
agree with
love
you. I think the
Tanyan,
Bears.
dude.
You know how I love
Tanyan,
Tanyan.
Yeah,
man.
he's on
I
every single
love
prop
Tanyan.
card.
Every
I
game.
think,
single prop card.
I think their teams are going to start doing a focus to shut Devontae down. They need secondary weapons to come up big, kind of like how Aaron Jones did in the passing game on week 2. They need other people to have monster games like that, and I see Tanyan in the spot being a very good play.
I'm going to fade the panel here, though. I'm going to go with – I think Bears win it outright.
Dang, look at that. Dead
Bears
press.
win it outright.
I like the Bears a lot this week.
That
Like
is
the
I mean,
Bears.
Packers are due for a letdown.
Packers are due for a letdown.
That is
I mean,
a-
they've had letdowns,
dude.
though. They've had a bunch of letdowns all
100%
year.
cap. That is cap. And
All right,
we
dead
should've
press.
lost last
Dead press.
week.
Let's get your analysis. Patrick Mahomes, he's had a really weird season, right? Lamar Jackson just beat him. Josh Allen just beat him. Those guys he usually dominates. Is he due for a big bounce back today or this coming week? He's a 6.5 point favorite on the road in Washington. How do you feel about that game, Dead?
Yeah, I just like their team total over because I do think he's due for a bounce back. Washington's defense was supposed to be a lot better than they've been. So, I mean, I just see them putting up points, kind of Mahomes silencing a little bit of the media here with his cold start. I don't see a way that they don't just put up points. I don't trust them enough to lay the 7 with their defense, but I'm confident that they'll score points. So I think it's 30.5 or 31,
Yeah.
depending. So I think they clear that number. I like their team total over.
All right, guys, just to quickly reset, we are doing an NFL weekly show with bookmakersreview.com. We're live right now on Twitter, we're live on YouTube, and we're live on Facebook. We're getting a ton of questions, so let's get some of the live questions right now. We have, let's see, Ryan Kuser, Alpha, how do you feel about Bucks -1, Chiefs -0.5 teaser? Very, very square, so I'm going to say yes for Alpha there.
I do lean that way. I personally wouldn't play it. I wouldn't play it because it's so square. But if I were to go a side in this game tonight, it would be the Bucs side. If I were to go to a side in the Chiefs game, it would be the Chiefs side. But as you guys know, I'm a big totals guy.
It's square. It's the most square.
It is the most square. But I'm a big totals guy, though, so I'm going to stick with my totals play on both games.
7 weenie.
All right. We got some more comments from Vato Loco. What a name.
Wow.
Slam the Bookie, you're wearing that cowboy hat there, so this one's for you. He says, Cowboy have been having an easy record. Only team that's a contender is Arizona next month. How do you feel about the Cowboys moving forward?
Cowboys this week, what is it? -3.5 at the Patriots. Man, it's hard to fade the Cowboys right now. I mean, I think they're due for a letdown.
Not in this spot.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't have faith in rookie quarterback. I think Bill Belichick has a good game plan for slowing down good offense.
He always does.
But I mean, I just I don't know. I just feel like Patriots, you would have to put up numbers. Like, I mean, are you going to trust Jones to carry that offense and score
to open it up?
Exactly. So I mean, this is a stay away game for me. I don't normally bet with the Cowboys. I kind of just.
I mean, have the Cowboys had it easy? They had the Chargers, the Buccaneers,
and that's it though. Then they beat the Giants, the
Panthers?
Eagles.
All out.
The Panthers was a good win, but the Eagles just beat the Panthers.
They're not necessarily.
Panthers are fake good though. The Panthers,
they're a middle tier team. They're a middle tier team.
Panthers from the start, they had a decent D.
Absolutely.
And the rest of the other teams, it's offense against offense. It's like you got whoever scores more points. I just don't think they've necessarily had it easy.
Yeah, Cowboys are 5-0 against the spread. This is the first time they've been 5-0 for over 25 years. So it is kind of like an anomaly right now. There will be a potential letdown spot, but I agree with Slam. It might not be this week because that Patriots offense is a little anemic. Let's move on to the best game of the early slate on Sunday. We have Justin Herbert, who you guys know I love. Of course, Sammy the GOAT loves. But he's traveling to Lamar Jackson and Baltimore. Yeah, let's start with Sammy Adams. Bolts, Ravens. Who do you have in that matchup?
I mean, this man's is just a machine. It shouldn't even be Justin Herbert. It should be Justin Machine Herbert. He is absolutely slinging it. 386 yards, 4 tuggies. Bro, it's going to take a lot to slow this man's down. That was an impressive win against the Browns. Not necessarily two good defenses, but that's the highest scoring game of the year. That was 87 points, 89 points. That is wild. That was a barnstormer. Also, I cannot hate on Justin Herbert. I got 4 rookie cards from AC just sitting in a box over here.
Bang,
Run it up, baby. Run it up. Go Bolts.
All right, Dead Press picks, same game. Right now it's at -3, -2.5. It might even move closer to even a smaller, shorter spread than that. But Dead Press, how do you analyze this game?
Yeah, I like the Chargers with the points here. Ravens play every game pretty close as well, but Herbert's always been, he's been great this year, but even last year he kept every game close. So it's a tough call. Honestly, I'd probably lay off this game because I could see it going either way, but my lean here would be with the Bolts plus 2.5 or 3, whatever line you could get there.
Before we get to Alpha, we just want to give a shout out to our boy Donnie Rightside. He's in the comments supporting us. Wish you good luck tonight too, Donnie Rightside. But we'll talk soon. Alpha, let's get to this game. How do you feel?
Awesome. So I really like the Chargers in the spot, guys. I'm not even taking the points. Give me the money line. They've really impressed me all year. And the the Ravens offense has looked good, but that defense has been suspect. They've let up a lot of points, and I could see the Chargers going in there and winning the game. The Ravens have a lot of injuries in their secondary. That secondary is beat up, and we know what Herbert can do with time in the pocket and finding his good receivers. So give me the Chargers and give me the money line. I'll take the extra value on that one.
Yeah, the thing for me in this game is, we talk about Lamar Jackson. Actually, we talk about Justin Herbert and Burrow and Brady, but people overlook what Lamar is doing this year. And he just had a crazy comeback on Monday night, just a few nights ago, down 22-3, came back, won in overtime, over 400 yards, I think 3 or 4 touchdowns. He 86% completion rate. Like, he was just on a tear. And I think it's hard to kind of go against someone that is that hot. But you guys know I love Herbert, and it's going to be hard for Baltimore to come from behind if the Chargers go up early. Exactly. All right, so let's get into the late game here. We have Kyler Murray. He's still undefeated. Nobody's talking about the Cardinals right now. Traveling to Baker and Cleveland Browns. We'll start with Alpha Dog bets for this game. Do you have any action on it?
I do. I have the over in this one, guys. Over 49.5. This is another game where I see a lot of points being scored. If you take a look at last week in both games, the Cardinals game as well as the Browns game, we've seen a lot of points. And I could see this one going over pretty easily as well. It's not one of my favorite plays on the slate. I don't like a side in this one. So if I am going to take action, I'm going to take the over in this one. Over 49.5. Slammy, what do you see in this one?
Man, I'm going to have to go against you. I like the under.
Okay. Do you?
Yeah, I think Browns, they got to step it up, man. I had them last week. They choked away that lead. They got to be pissed defensively. I think they bounce back here at home. I think they stopped the Cardinals. And I think it's the total's pretty low. I think it went from 53 to 49.5.
Yes.
I don't know. I feel like it's a good defensive game.
Browns outright.
Yeah, I'll be on the Browns big this week. I love it.
No way,
boy. I think it's a big letdown spot for the Cards. And like you said, Slam, their defense is inconsistent. Like, they gave up 7 to the Vikings, and then
the Browns did that with the Chiefs one game, and then they did it last week. They choked away leads.
Yeah, their defense to be good.
Also with the Browns, though, they're not being aggressive. Like last week, they could have easily prevented that last-second field goal if they would have been aggressive when they got the ball. They ran it 3 times, and on 3rd and 10, they ran it again. And you give Justin Herbert the ball at midfield, just needing a field goal to win the game, he's going to win that every time. So
24 missed field goals last week. Who's trusting him?
Yeah, you can't trust your kicker right now.
But it's not trusting the kicker. It's that you have to trust your offense instead of giving Herbert the ball at the 50 with over a minute to go. I just didn't think he was aggressive enough, and he didn't play to win the game. He played to not lose. And whenever you play to not lose, you lose
Alpha.
the game.
There you go, Alpha.
There you go, Alpha. There you go. All right, one more game before we get to Monday night. They're both 3-2. They started off undefeated, but the Raiders are traveling to Denver for a big divisional matchup. The line is a little fishy to me. It's Denver minus 3.5. I'll start with Dead Prez picks. How do you read this?
Yeah, see, I love the Raiders here. I think that kind of the line should be more 5.5, 6. There's a ton going on, obviously, with the Raiders right now, with the whole Gruden situation. But
it's a coach gate.
Yeah, and I just think that they kind of bounced back in a way. They were pretty bad last week against the Bears offensively. They're another team. They're hit or miss. Like, their offense either looks great or it really struggles. I like them a lot here. I haven't been high on Denver. I kind of thought their 3-0 start was nothing, kind of like the Panthers, right? It was a good start, but I'm going to be on the Raiders. I definitely on the spread, and I would definitely sprinkle the money line at plus 160 as well.
Sammy Adams, let's not get into the big coach gate there at Gruden, but how do you feel about this game and the Raiders and the Broncos?
I don't feel any type of way. I'm probably going to steer all the way clear of this and every other coach gate. It's like, look, everyone makes mistakes, not to that level. Insane. Maybe Derek, El Coche Carr comes with some heat this week. We'll see, though. It's like he started out so hot. Like, Alpha was in the stadium. He was just absolutely slinging. I don't know. I think this coach thing could have a big detrimental effect on the Raiders.
And one guy who's actually kind of taken a step back is Darren Waller. Where has he been the last couple of weeks? He usually gets 15 targets, 10 catches, 2 touchdowns. He's a beast. So the fact that maybe defenses are catching on, or they have caught on and they're really scheming towards him. So Alpha Dog Bets, I know I kind of cut you off there, but how do you feel about this game?
Surprisingly, I agree with Sammy here. I'm not touching this game. There's not a chance I'm playing anything on this game because you just don't know. It's the unknown factor. You don't know where their heads are at. You don't know how the new coach is going to come in here and dictate the game. So to me, there's so many better options on the board. Lay off this one. This one has too many external factors to put into play to make an educated play on here. I'm staying away. So I agree with Sammy.
I can't believe he'd slander me like that. We won our bet last week.
All right. Our guest, Slam the Bookie, you're going to get the last word. Monday night, the Bills are on primetime again. I don't know if I've been alive with the Bills being on primetime 2 consecutive weeks, but they are traveling to Tennessee to play Ryan Tannehill and King Henry. Right now, it's a 5.5 steaming road favorite up to maybe 6.5 close to kickoff. How do you read this line, and do you have any action on it?
I'm actually leading Titans as of right now. I think it's going to depend on the Titans' run game. I think game plan.
When doesn't it?
I think game plan wise, you got to keep the Bills' offense, Allen, off the field. Run the game, run the ball with Henry. You know he's killing it right now. I just think if Titans can execute that run game, they'll be able to cover this game, if not win outright.
Okay. Before we get to Dead, we got some support in the live chat. So Rosalind, Nicole, thank you for joining us. Sammy sent you. I appreciate it. Hope you enjoy. Vato Loco asked if we do more of these shows. We do this every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Please keep it locked. Subscribe to each of our Twitter pages. Go to our YouTube, and you'll see it every single week at Thursday. And Adrian Fernandez asks, who's going to win the Offensive Player of the Year this season? Adams or Henry? Oh, Offensive Player of the Year right now. I mean, it's hard. I'll start with Alpha
Sammy Adams or Derrick Henry?
Alpha Dog Bets, do you have a clear-cut winner for Offensive Player of the Year?
For right now, I mean, you have to go with Devontae Adams, in my opinion. He's just been the complete X factor on that team. What are the Packers without Devontae this year? I mean, what did he have, 15 catches a week or two ago? He's just been unbelievable. He has been unbelievable. So give me Devontae Adams, but Henry's doing a pretty darn good job too. But don't forget about Daniel Jones coming back from his concussion. He's going to get right back in that race. So you'll see that coming up this week.
Dead Press Picks, how do you feel about Monday night?
Monday night, that is the Bills and Titans, correct? So Monday night, I am going to be in alignment here with Slam the Bookie. I like the Titans a lot in this game. I think they have the potential to win this outright. It's obviously really scary to fade the Bills right now, but I'm gonna be riding the Titans in this game.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to go live. I just got 199 though. Let's go.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Sammy Adams, for going live. Alpha Dog Bets, I know previously early in the season you had Titans as one of your max bets.
I did.
Do you think they kind of come back this Monday? You feeling the Titans?
I don't. Y'all, you know how I feel about the Bills this year. I also think that the Titans defense is not as good as I hoped it would be this year. That's not saying they're a bad team by any means, but I did think that defense would be a lot stronger, especially how they looked last year. They just don't look the same. Even with the addition of Bud Dupree, he hasn't been on the field that often. So I'm still riding with my Bills, guys. They've been getting it done every week for me, and we're going to keep riding that train.
Just so you're aware, Alpha and Dead Press, you guys differ on almost every bet this week, so you guys definitely have to do some side betting.
That's a good sign.
I'm coming over.
Slam the Bookie. Any last words before we let you go, my friend?
Yeah, guys, thank you so much for having me, man. It was just fun. And if anything, slam Vikings money line, guys. Thank you again.
Vikings money line. Hey, that's one of my bets.
Thank you, Slammy.
Go, baby.
Slam. All right.
Hey,
Alpha Dog Bet.
Appreciate you.
Wizard. Let's go ahead and get into this week's best bets.
Well, I got to fire
it, Wizard.
The best bets of waking up.
17-7,
guys.
y'all, in the last 2 weeks. 17-7.
First of all, hold on. You say Alpha, take us into best bets, and you steal the 17-7 right from me.
My bad.
Yet again, guys, 17-7. We are on fire on best bets. Kicking mine off, I'm starting with the Packers -4.5. Explained why earlier.
You took offense to that.
Staying with my Bills. As you guys know, I've been hot on this team all year, riding them. And pick of the week is going to be Analytic Peppers Cowboys. He doesn't want to take them this year. I don't understand. They keep covering. He keeps fading them. Give me the Cowboys.
All right, I'll go next. It's a teaser tonight. I'm going a little contrarian. I do like the Eagles on the spread, but I think the Bucs are going to win. And the contrarian play here, I think, is going to go under. I think the only way the Bucs or the Eagles can compete with the Bucs is to keep the score close and low, kind of like the Patriots-Bucs game a couple weeks ago. So I like the under there. It's not one of my favorite bets, but it's up there. Vikings money line. SlamTheBookie alluded to this. I love this bet. Give me the Vikings. They win straight up. I think they're +1 right now. You can have them both ways. And then my best bet of the week is the Colts and the Chiefs. Basically, they just need a win. Colts have to cover by a field goal. I think they both do it pretty easily. Dead Prez, let's go to you.
Alrighty, so the Browns here on the money line -135. That has shot up a lot in the last day or two. But I see a big.
Thank you, Dad. I took that. Thank you, Dad.
Oh yeah, you're welcome, Sam. At this point, I won't go money line for everybody currently tuning in. I would go -3 with the Browns. I think they cover this spread fairly easy. I see a big letdown game from the Cardinals here, a tough travel game on the road, so I'm going to be riding with the Browns. Next, I'm going to go with the Patriots here, fading the Cowboys in this spot. Yes, it's been scary to fade them this year. They're perfect against the spread, so I think it's a great letdown spot for the Cowboys as well. I like the Patriots a lot here at home with the points. I think Bill will have the defense ready and prepared, and the Patriots can at least cover this thing, keep it close. And then lastly, we are going to go with the game in London, Dolphins and Jags. Nice. Another awful game to wake up to at 9 a.m., but it's not going to be awful if you guys take the under here. I like the under, first half under at 23.5. Neither of these offenses has really been able to do anything all season. I see a lot of running, feeling out early on in this football game. So we're going to take the under there at 23.5 -112. Sammy, what do you got here for your best bets?
Might also ride that best bet. I like Dad's picks this week. I'm going Packers first half because there's some question marks about Fields. And if the Red Rocket comes in, I see no reason why there shouldn't be like a 14-3, 14-7 at halftime. Moving on, I got the Bengals -3. Let's be honest, Big D Joe has been slinging it. I do not think he's going to let up. -3 is a pretty decent number to get against a team that's been competitive with almost everyone. Leave the field goal team off, like on both sides. Actually, for the Bengals, just leave him off. But I got them -3, -120. Lock in if you want. Tonight, my first pick, Eagles +13.5. And Chargers and Ravens over 46.5 at -130. Both these teams know how to score. They've let up a lot of points, like I previously said on the show. It's the highest scoring game last week with the Chargers and the Browns. I don't see it any different. Probably not hitting the 80s, but I think it goes over 50 easy.
All right. Beautiful, Sammy. Dad, let's get into the questions. By the way, y'all, big game tonight. Dodgers, Giants, Dodgers, Giants.
All right. Hopefully these
Giants
easier to read here, boys.
Is that why you're wearing an LA hat?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Alrighty, guys, let's get into the questions here from our buddy Zach's bets. What is your current Super Bowl predictions, and have they changed at all based off what we have seen the first 5 weeks? Alpha, we'll start with you. What do you think here?
So mine has changed a little bit. It's changed in the NFC. I'm going to be taking the Rams versus the Bills. I originally had the Bucs-Bills doing this year in the Super Bowl, but the Rams to me have looked like the best team in the NFC, and the Bills to me are by far the best team in the AFC.
AC or Sammy, what are you guys thinking here?
I agree with the Bills, but I would go more Chargers on this one.
Well, Chargers are on the other side, so someone from NFC.
Yeah, I don't really care about the NFC at all.
It's an AFC. It's an AFC. I actually would
AFC Super Bowl for the first time.
Yeah, I agree with the Chargers. I think they could be like the dark horse that gets it done. I think the Bills would be the favorite right now. There's some interesting teams in the NFC as well. I wouldn't be shocked to see the Packers get back into it if their defense could.
I agree with that.
But
I agree with
that. I think the Rams, like you said, Alfred, that's my favorite team. I know the Cardinals right now are the best team in the NFC, but I don't know if their defense will be able to keep this up. AC, you got your Cowboys in it?
No, I mean, when you ask that question, I mean, outside of the Cowboys, I'm going to be biased there, but you have to look at the elite coaches, right? And with the Chargers, it's hard to kind of believe that they can go to the Super Bowl with a first-year coach. You guys know how I feel about Cliff Kingsbury, so no Arizona there. Sean McVay, he's made it before. He lost, so maybe he can, kind of learn from that. It is a good spot for him. Same with the Bills. They made it to the AFC Championship last year. So I like teams who's been there before. I don't think they can just go from 0 to 100 real quick. So it just takes a progression. I like the teams that you guys have mentioned.
I actually do agree with that. I mean, I guess in terms of the NFC, it's tough because I feel like Cards might be in a letdown spot this week, but they also just struggle, whether it's wild card or in the playoffs. They struggle. Like Kyler, once you get a big D line, like the guy can't see over, the guy's helmet, let alone his arm. So it's a tough one. It's a tough one to call out there. I think honestly, the Vikings could be 4-1, but it's just terrible clock management, terrible coaching. I wouldn't be surprised to see them like win a few games and get competitive again, but I think it's a total toss-up in NFC.
We have a nice comment here from Sean MCK in the chat. He says the weather might be really bad in Cleveland this week. So maybe Nick Chubb overs. Nick Chubb is going to feast, he says. So
I love that. I love that.
Maybe look into that, Sammy. I know you talked about Cleveland and the Chargers just going at it on offense last week, but maybe weather will play an effect this week. So appreciate that, Sean. Go ahead, Dad. Next question.
All righty. Can we get to question 2, please, Wizard? All right. This is from Locks Official asking us what the toughest division in the NFL so far this season is. AC, we'll start with you.
I think it's the AFC West. We talk about Herbert all the time, but even their second division teams or second tier teams are pretty elite, right? You have Derek Carr and the Raiders. Yes, there's Coach Gate there. You used to have Patrick Mahomes, who everybody regards as the best quarterback in the league, and the Chiefs. And the Broncos are feisty. They're 3-2, and if your worst team in the division, I know the Chiefs are 2-3, but let's just say if your worst team, and we think that's the Broncos, is the 3-2, that's a pretty damn good division. So give me the AFC West.
I think we all have to have the same answer on this one. It's clearly AFC West. Thank you for the question, Locks. Awesome question. The AFC West is on a completely different level this year, in my opinion.
NFC West pretty good too, Alpha.
That's where I was going to go. I was going to say the NFC West. I mean, you're so top heavy in a way, right? With the Cards and Rams combining at 9-1.
Yeah.
But see now, what do we put into Seattle because Geno Smith's going to be the signal caller? So yeah, they're pretty much done. 49ers also. I tweeted this out too. Like the Trey Lance should start crowd. I think they're being shown a little bit here that he's not quite ready yet. To jump right in, and they're a much better team right now with Jimmy G as their quarterback. So I would say, yeah, I actually would go with the NFC West because I don't think the Broncos or the Raiders are that good of teams right now. I think they're average.
All fair points. All
right, Wizard. Can we get to question 3, please? From our boy, Ace Picks here. People questioning, are the Chiefs frauds?
No.
Start with you.
Sammy, go ahead.
To be honest, I think that the Chiefs defense is making this team a bunch of frauds. Also, wasn't that impressive of a performance last week. The Bills absolutely blew them out, which also could be a defense thing, but the Chiefs rely on offense making up for the fact that their D is Swiss cheese. So I don't know if they're frauds, but right now it is, it's like I'm the rat. I'm going towards the trap, and I might
Yeah.
get slapped.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the Chiefs, like, they're gonna make the playoffs most likely. They're still a great team. They still have the MVP contender there with Patrick Mahomes. But in the playoffs or on the way to the playoffs, when the weather gets really bad, you got to be able to win games like 19-16. You got to win games, 14-13. And to me, their defense is not holding anybody under 20, even in bad weather. So I just can't trust a team like that. Defense at the end still wins championships. So to answer your question, whether it's yes or no, I think this year they are frauds, and I think they're going to lose a lot of people money.
Yeah, I don't know if it's tough because it's from the Chiefs standards. I would say they're frauds because we expect them to be so good. I think they'll still be a playoff team, but yeah, I don't expect them to be as good as we expected. Basically,
Agreed.
We will head to question 4 here, please, Wizard. All right, from Big Brain Bets, has Lamar proved he can be a legit quarterback, or does he need to prove more? We'll start with you here, Alpha. What are you thinking?
That's a great question from BBB. I think he has proved he is a legit quarterback. So to me, it's not the quarterback position isn't all about how you can pass. He's gotten the passing done to a point where it's acceptable and he's making good throws, but he's just the most dynamic runner I've seen since Michael Vick with the ball. He's just such a different animal when he's in open space that he's the complete quarterback to me. His threat of running the ball forces teams to play differently on defense against him, and he's able to pick him apart a little bit. So I'd absolutely say that he's a legitimate quarterback.
Yeah,
I completely agree. It's like, dude, he's thrown 70 touchdowns and 20 interceptions over his 1,000 passes. Like, bro, laces out. Only dude to beat him is Dan Marino. Kurt Warner, who won, the whoever bowl with the Rams. It's like, dude, he's behind them and Mahomes. I think he's crushing it. He's fine. I think they need to establish tight ends and who their wide receiver 1 is, and then it's money.
Yeah, I think that there's a good question. Like, what I don't know what you would call as legit, right? Like, would you pay him, the max like type of contract, like Mahomes type of money? I still don't think he's like there, but I think he's a top tier, top 7, top 10 quarterback in the NFL. But yeah, I'd say he's legit. I just don't think he's at the A class quite yet.
For me, guys, Lamar Jackson is only 24 years old. He already has an MVP under his belt. He went into this season with, I think, 2 or 3 playoff appearances. A lot of people question his passing ability. He kind of showed this year that he can pass the ball. He had over 400 yards, 86% completion percentage last game, which is the first time ever for someone to throw over 40 passes. And, I mean, if he's going to be able to do that, to me, he's a single offensive player that a defense has to scheme around. Everybody, like Aaron Rodgers, you still have to scheme around Devontae. Patrick Mahomes, you got to scheme around Tyreek. But Lamar Jackson is his own entity where you have to worry about him running and you have to worry about him passing. I think he's the real deal. I think he's legit. I think he deserves max money. So if Josh Allen got it last year, I think Lamar Jackson should get it.
Here's another question. Do you think Lamar stays with the Ravens for his entire career?
Yes.
Entire career, that's hard to say because towards the end of your career, like you just never know. Yeah. But for his prime, I do. I mean, there's just not much player movement in the NFL compared to NBA.
Especially at the quarterback position.
Copy.
All right. I think that completes our show. Again, everybody, thank you so much. Week 6 NFL For the Win show is in the books. Everybody, please check out the website, bookmakersreview.com. Go to YouTube, like, subscribe, do whatever you want, comment on it. Click on all the links for more NFL content. Again, thank you so much. You have the one and only Sammy, the one and only Alpha Dog Bets, and the GOAT Dead Prez Picks. Thank you, everybody. Have a good one.
Let's go Birds.
Let's go Giants.
Let's go Birds.
Get that dub tonight.